Okay, so I've added a few more questions since the last video to the PlayPosit, and I'm now ready to send it to my students. The first thing I'm going to do is save and finish, just so that it's done and that I know that it's done, but I might need to edit it a little bit. I've also gone in and pressed edit, and then up here, I clicked up here, and I've changed the bulb title to Sugar Video and the learning objective, how much sugar is contained in everyday foods. I've allowed the viewers to rewind during questions, and I'm going to allow the viewers to fast forward. Now this is just for me when I'm previewing it and doing it as a student, just to make sure it works, because I've watched this video so many times. But for your students, I wouldn't allow them to skip questions, and I certainly wouldn't allow them to fast forward either. Then I am going to close. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save and finish again. And I am going to register it to class. I'm going to share it. I do not require learners to authenticate. No, I want them to authenticate, and I'm going to get them to use this URL. However, it's important to assign it to a class. So if I click assign, and I'm going to assign it to unregistered students, and close and save. And also I am going to then, I guess, save it, share it. So this is the one we want. I'm now going to log out. Okay, so I need to log out as a teacher. And see the search code GW22EB6G, you might need to give that to your students as well. Okay, I am going to go to the PlayPosit, paste and go. And I'm going to sign in, but I'm not going to sign in using my teacher account. I'm going to sign in using another account so it recognises me as a student. Before logging out, make sure you add your teacher's class, or else you won't appear in this roster. So I'm going to add class, and it was that G. We'll look at it here. It's sugar. Looking at it now, and managing units. No. Assign. Close. It's unregistered students, that class. But I'm not getting the code. Monitor. Am I gonna get code here? See, preview. Just going to look at this, and that's giving me the preview. Maybe if I do this, try copy, that might work. And Control V, search. No. Unregistered students. Okay, I don't really have much. Okay, I'm just going to go done. So I'm going to click on unregistered students, and I'm going to click on the sugar tax video. Okay, so that was easy enough. I was looking for the student, but it was already there. I'm attempting the bulb as Suzanne Yarker, so that's okay. And I'm playing. And I can forward it if I wish. Okay, so what is sugar tax not directed at? So it's not directed at food, and submit. I'm just flying through this and continue.
To the body over time. So we know that it increases the risk of being overweight or obese. So as sugar intake increases, so does BMI. So the World Health Organization encourages us to eat less than 12 teaspoons.
So 6. Continue.
Of sugar a day, or ideally less than 6. So we know that the Irish public, on average, are eating 3 times too much sugar. So the average Irish person would be actually consuming around 120.
So 3 times too much. So we submit, and you can see that it says correct. And
20
continue.
teaspoons, if not 150 teaspoons of sugar each week. It's colossal amounts.
Just forwarding it a little bit to skip this bit. Okay, so the question coming up is going to be a reflective question. The students don't need to type in an answer, they just need to think about it. If this is something you were broadcasting live, you might open it up to the class.
One of the simplest ways to consume less sugar.
Okay, so what food or drink item are the most surprising to you? That's a reflective. I don't need to make any answers at all there. Okay, and press play again.
Sugar would simply to focus your diet on whole foods. So whole foods are foods of one ingredient. So nothing's been added to them and nothing's been taken away. So they're still as high in vitamins and minerals and nutrition as they're supposed to be. But sugar, salt, and
Okay, so whole foods. This is a free response question. 1 ingredient foods. Nothing added. Nothing taken away. And submit. And continue.
adjectives haven't been added. So by focusing on whole foods, you're going to naturally reduce your sugar intake.
Okay, and I learned that it's about the amount of sugar contained in everyday foods, and submitting that's the final question. And I got it correct, which is great. And continue. And you'll see that I've only got 33%, that the teacher needs to grade me, and that I can come back to it to answer, to find out how well I've scored. Okay, and I can also retry it because the teacher has let me do that. I don't want to do that, however, so I'm going to log out of this, if I may. So if I go to PlayPosit, and as a student, just sign out. Okay, so I need to now sign back in, but as a teacher, so I can mark it. So I'm going to log in, and I'm going to log in using my Google account, and it's my SYarker account at this point, and allow. Okay, now hopefully this has worked. I see that there's another response. I've already practiced this already. So if I click here and go to monitor and view responses, if I scroll down, I will hopefully find Suzanne Yarker, and there she is. And I know that this is a student and that I need to respond to her answers. So this is the first one, and the answer is food, and she's correct there, so I'll give her 3 points. And then I need to respond here, 1 ingredient foods, nothing added, nothing taken away. I give 3 there because that's correct. And next, okay. And I could possibly have added comments if I wished as well. Okay, so 100%, and the student has got their feedback. Okay, so the student can now log in and see that they've got full feedback. Okay, and I can see how the other students have done. Okay, so if they have their names. This was an unregistered student. Okay, but you see by signing up with your email address, you have the students' analytics, and you can monitor it, and you can download the spreadsheet and you can print it up and give it to an extern. Should you be using something like this for a formative assessment or a summative assessment? Summative assessment being something that the extern would need to see. So they're my bulbs, and these are my classes. And I can create new classes though as well. I've got a chemistry class and I've been just kind of bulking everything into unregistered students. But if I need to create a new class, I could have communications and I could make it orange and create. And in that I could also create a unit which could be interview skills. And create. Okay. And so forth and so forth. So that is PlayPosit. It really is something to play around with. It is a lot easier, I feel, than Edpuzzle. So have a go and see what you think.